happening from 5 to 25 to 125? What's the pattern going on? It's multiplying by 5. Would that be a factor or a slope? Factor, right? Factor means it's multiplying, which means that linear or exponential. Good. Remember exponential, I just remember that x means multiplying. What would be the next term right here? 625, right? I multiply by 5. What's my first term here? 5. Cool. Let's go to the next one. How do you get that? Adding by 5. So would that be a slope or a factor? Slope. Is it linear or exponential? Linear, right? Because we're adding. And what's my first term there? Beautiful. So today we're going to be learning about arithmetic and geometric. And so what that is, it's just basically another way. It's like it looks more complicated, but it's actually pretty easy. It's another way of writing exponential linear functions. And so we're going to start with looking at the formula sheet. This is your formula sheet right here. You should have one. But you can see that arithmetic and linear, see how they're next to each other? Right here, this is the formula sheet you get for chess. See that? Linear and arithmetic are the same thing. Same thing with exponential. See how exponential and geometric are one on top of the other? They're the same thing. So if you forget and you see a term that says arithmetic or geometric, you can look at your formula sheet and say, oh yeah, it's with exponential. They're the same thing. They're twins. So what it is, arithmetic. So you're writing this as a small half sheet of paper. Arithmetic is a sequence of numbers. In which the same number, same value, is being added or subtracted. I just remember, you can tell them all about the letters, right? Arithmetic starts with A, and so does adding. So I just remember arithmetic is adding or subtracting over and over again. It is linear. So a sequence of numbers, it looks like just a set of numbers. So an example would be like the one we did this morning, 5, 10, 15, 20. They don't look like points, they just look like numbers. And what's going on? What is adding each time? 5. The number that's being added each time is called your common difference. Your common difference is literally your slope. So even though it says the word difference, and we think of difference as subtracting, common difference just means the number, the value that's being added or subtracted each time. Does anyone not have this paper? Yeah. So if you are following along and listen to this will be a piece of cake for you. The people who are usually not focused are the ones that get really confused by this. So another example could be like -2, -7, -12. What's this common difference? We call it D. What's being added or subtracted each time here? Good, so subtracted 5, so -5. What about this one? What's being added here? 5. So we call that D, your difference. And so common difference is just another way of saying it. Now geometric is exponential. I remember that because it has a G. So geometric is another way of writing exponential functions. And so it's the same definition, but now we're multiplying the number. So it's a sequence of numbers in which the same value is being multiplied. This is called a common ratio. And so a common ratio is your like growth or decay factor. Or your P. So your common ratio, they use R instead of using that P. An example of that was like the one we did this morning, 5, 25, 125. What was the common ratio for that one? What were you multiplying by? Good. Sometimes remember it will be a fraction. So if I have like 100, 25, 12.5, what is the R there? Not negative. Remember, it's like exponential. What are you dividing by? You're dividing by 4, right? Which is multiplying by 1/4. Remember, to get your common ratio, you'll always can take the last one divided by the 1/4. Same thing when we were looking for that growth and decay. Lastly, neither is, you don't really need to write that down, neither is if it's not arithmetic or geometry. You don't really need to. Cool. So what you're doing next is you're just going to go on the back of that little half sheet, turn that half sheet over. There's a bunch of sequences of numbers. Some of them I forgot to cross out, so I'm going to have you do it. And you're first just identifying, is it arithmetic or geometric? The ones that are crossed out on the first row are, make sure this first one's crossed out, because these are the neither ones. Not worrying about that right now. 1, the third one, and the 5th one. In the second row, it's the bottom one. You're crossing these out if they're not already crossed out on your paper. And then that one, and your third one. So all you're doing right now is you're going through each run and you're writing A or G. So A is arithmetic, that means something's being added or subtracted. G means something's being multiplied. So I'll give you a few minutes. I am going to cold call. Victor, what's this first one? No, oh, is it geometric or arithmetic? Arithmetic, right? Because we're adding over and over. Good. Riptiana, what's this one? Yep, geometric because we're multiplying. Kamari, what's this one?
G.
G. Keandra, what's this one? A. Kimberly, what's the next one? G. Yaslin, what's this middle one right here? You gonna do that one? Kanya, she's not in here. Allison. This one. What is it? Not G. It's not multiplying. It's adding, or some, it's actually yeah, it's adding. Tristan, what's the next one? A. Angel, what's the next one? Angel's not here. Brandon, what's the next one? G. Damon, what's the next one? Is it adding over and over or multiplying? Adding, so what is it? A. Okay. Steven, what's this one right here? A or G? G, good. Kamari, what's the next one? Good. Bertiana, what's this one? It is geometric. Victor, what's the next one? Not A.
G.
It's G. You know it's G too, if it's going from a negative to a positive to a negative to a positive, it's usually something being multiplied. Tristan, what's the next one? Not A. So it's going to be G. We're going to be multiplying. And then Yaslin, last one. G. So remember, G means it's exponential or geometric. Arithmetic means it's adding and subtracting and sorting. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go through each of them, and all the A's, I want you to write D equals, because for your common difference. So I want you to go through and write D equals for all your A's. For all your G's, you're going to write R equals, finding your common ratio. So all your G's, you're writing R equals because you have a common ratio. For all your A's, you're writing D equals. You have a common difference. Basically, it's the same thing as saying slope versus factor. So now what I want you to do is I want you to find the common difference or the common ratio. Remember that you can do this if you're looking for the common difference and you know it's adding. All you have to do is take the last number minus the first number or the number before it. So what's 49 minus 46? 3. I also can see the pattern, right? From 40 to 43, I know I would be adding 3. So you could do it either way. You usually do this method if you can't see it right away. If it's geometric, how could I tell what it's multiplying by? What would I do from this to this? Divide. And when you do that, you end up getting negative 3, which is true because 4 times negative 3 is 12. Or sorry, negative 4 times negative 3 is 12. So now I'm going to give you a few minutes. All you're doing is writing what is the D. Maybe do all the D's first, then do all the R's. So you're figuring out what's your common ratio, what's your common difference. Allison, did you get this one right here? What is it? Negative 5. Beautiful. Brendan, what's the next one? 5. Perfect. Tyreek, what's this one right here? Not negative. It's actually positive 8. Because see how the negatives are getting smaller? It's like the opposite direction, right? Cool. Damon, did you get this one right here? What's your D right here? Did you get that one? Steven, did you get this D? 3. Beautiful. Kamari, what's this one right here?
Oh,
It's dividing by 2. What's it multiplying by? What is it? 1/2 or 0.5. Same thing. Keandra, did you get this one right here? What is it? 5. Yaslin, what's the next one? Oh, you're down here. Short. Kanye, what's this one? 3. Victor, what's this one? Negative 4. And the last couple. Kimberly, what's this one? 3. Negative 2. Beautiful. This one right here. Tyreek. Not to, what? Remember, we flip it because you're dividing by 2, so it would be multiplied by what? 1/2 or 0.5. So remember, if you're dividing, you just flip the fraction. which means Tyreek, what would be the last one? You had it on your paper. 0.5 or 1/2. Same, they're the same thing. Perfect. So, how do we feel on common difference versus common ratio? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs down. Cool. So now all you're doing, I'm going to give you a few minutes, is you're going through both those worksheets and they tell you if it's geometric or arithmetic. So like this worksheet right here, we're not going to get into that yet. It says, or you're figuring it out. So you're looking at this, and then you're writing, is it geometric or arithmetic? Each page is the same thing. So like if I'm looking at this right here, would this be arithmetic or geometric? I think it's your second page of that packet. But I can start on the first page. There we go. This should be the first one. So you're looking and you're saying, hey, is this arithmetic or geometric? 27, 37, 47, what is it? It's arithmetic. So I'm going to put A right here. And all I want you to do, it says common difference. So you should know it's arithmetic anyways. What is the common difference? 10. And then your first term. What is your first term here? That's what this A1 means. 27. So all I want you to do is that column for that packet. You're not doing the middle or the last one. You're just writing what's your common difference or common ratio, whatever they ask for, and what's your first term. So you're doing both pages of that packet. You're not doing anything other than that. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that. It shouldn't take you long. And then I'm going to cold call again. Ekran, did you get the first one? What's your D here? What's the common difference? So what's being added over and over again? 10. What's your first term? 27. And so we know it's arithmetic. Cool. Kamari, what's the second one?
1/2, right? No,
1/2. Because it's common difference. They're all common difference.
Oh.
-4. And what's your first term? 18. So this is arithmetic. Good. Tyreek, what's your D here? 9. And what's your first term? Perfect. So we use arithmetic. And that's the last one on here. Tristan, what's this one? Not positive, but see how it's getting deeper and deeper into those negatives? You're losing 3. And then Tristan, what's the first term? Perfect. Cool. Let's go to the back of that page. And these are all going to be common ratios. So you know it's going to be an R. So Victor, what's this one going to be? What's your R? Not 4, because that would be a common difference. Yeah. Do you get why it's not 4 though? Because you could see it's adding by 4, but it would have to be, this one would have to be 12. Because it's R, we're multiplying by 2. What's the first term? 4. And we know it's geometric. Perfect. Kanya, what's the R here? 4. And what's your first term? And we know it's geometric. This one, Kimberly, what's this R? And what's the first term? 2. And it's geometric. Beautiful. And last but not least, Christian, you want to try this one? What's your R here? Is it positive or negative? This one's gonna be positive. There's gonna be a positive 3 because when you multiply it by 3, it just gets you a negative again. So don't get confused by the negative numbers. What's your A1 though? Your first term. -1. And it's geometry. Cool. So for the remainder of class, your classwork grade today, what it's going to be, because we kind of split it up, we were going to do more, but I want to make sure you got this down first. You are going to be doing a Delta Math assignment for classwork today. So it's not like for homework, it is going to be due by the end of this period. And so what it is, and if you need a device, I can give it to you. You're going to 5.7 that says identifying arithmetic and geometric sequences. And it looks something like this. And all it says it's a common ratio of geometric. So you know it's multiplying. How would I find my R? What do I need to do to, what would I multiply to 4 to get 28? What is my common ratio? One more. 7. Or remember, you could always divide the last one divided by the one before. That's all you're doing. You're just writing down what's the common ratio or what's the common difference. So like here, they say common difference. So what's being added each time? 5. And that's all you're doing. You're just doing 20 practice problems with that. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, so if you need a device, raise your hand if you need a device. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Or else you can go on your own device, but remember, like, you need to finish this by the end of the period. So if you're not doing it, it is going in the group.